as well. So we'll have both going today. All right, guys. So, hey, it's Ashley and Nija from the Spiritual Tea. So we wanted to have a guest come on today, but we're not quite sure if they're ready or not. So no worries. We'll reschedule with them, but we still had some interesting topics we wanted to share with you guys today. What do you think, Ashley?
Yeah, so do we want to tell them who was supposed to come on the show?
Yeah, we could say it. Yeah.
Okay, so Foster eBay was supposed to be on the show. Guys, definitely go tag and be like, why weren't you on the Spiritual Tea today?
It might be our fault. We might have communicated, or like we just, whatever reason, we are going to have that conversation, and we're still going to do that live with him because we're still very excited to do that. So
Yes. Okay. So basically this is 1028 Awakenings, and today we have a couple of topics that we really want to talk about. Also, this is Spiritual Tea, so we're using my platform and our Spiritual Tea platform just to make sure that everyone is able to view this information. Now, there is a video. I don't know for certain where the source of the video is. I actually know what it is, but I don't know the name of it. I don't know if I'm just going to look for it or whatever's going to happen right now, but I will share this video with you guys if you guys just DM.
Sorry, can you hear that? Is it echoing? Okay, I'm not sure if our Zoom is going to get audio. So you know what? We'll just do live for now, and we'll Zoom later because the Zoom's not going to get our audio. So, okay, cool. All right.
All right, so now we're just live. All right. So this video was basically explaining every single civilization. Okay, so I just want to talk about this first, okay? Me and Nigel already had a pre-conversation, which I wish did not occur, because we had so many light bulb moments happening while all of these topics. So I'm actually watching my daughter play in the yard actually while I'm online. I was like, I'm looking over there. Anyway, but we're going to try to go through it piece by piece. And if you get lost in the midst of what we're talking about, please ask questions. Please say pause, go back, and just try to, make sure that we're all on the same page. Okay. So in the beginning of this video, it talks about these layers or the models in the video are not accurate. Okay. It's just giving you some form of visual aspect of what we're talking about. Okay. So in the middle of all of this, there is a tree of life. Okay. And if you watch any television, every single show has this tree. I want to say Avatar calls it Awa. Game of Thrones, the old wise tree is in that movie. Lord of the Ring, same old tree, and then the trees actually come alive to help, which is showing you guys that all God is in all things. God is in all consciousness. The rocks, everything came to fight war for planet Earth, to fight the dooms of evil. So in this model, there is a tree of life, and from this tree of life or tree of consciousness of God's source, okay, it then created. Okay, so the creator created, and everything that the creator creates has a consciousness, which has the potential, once it known and identified, actually is source, which is God, it has the power to now create. So what happens is just like a water, when you drop it, it has a ripple effect, and every single thing that the source creates has its own mini consciousness throughout reality, throughout the galaxy. Okay, so if the consciousness, okay, that tree of life, which is source, which is soul, makes one thing. Let's say it made a sim, like when we go onto a video game, we make whatever. Once we leave the video game, you have all these little movies. It's like, oh, the video game is still alive. Or you have all these different things where it's saying like, oh, Toy Stories, when you leave the toy, it is created. It has a life without us being around. This is the same thing that they're trying to convey to us in all of these movies, okay? It's like so deep to say this, okay? Basically, the first race that was created, they call it the Anunnaki, or of some sort, of something like
the Anunnaki.
The Anunnaki, okay? On this video, it doesn't call it that. It calls it another name. But that particular outer ring is the people that have melanin in their system, okay? They've been on this plane for the longest of existence that has occurred. Okay. Now, this outside ring, which is the Anunnaki ring, okay, has the most history, the most DNA, the most everything, because we've been on the planet for a long time. Now, the clear people, as my other side of the family will call it, the clear people are the lowest, the earliest, the youngest form of human being introduced into this realm of reality, if that makes sense. Okay. So because of that, there is less history, there's less trauma, there's less understanding, there's less empathy, there's less connection. It's less of every single thing with the clear people. That's why they're able to maybe like move certain ways and not really feel the deep rooted hurt like we are, because we've been here the longest. A little bit after us is the Indian people, then the Asian people, I believe, and then there are the Caucasian race.
Okay? Not yeah. Okay. So the way he was describing it is all of us who are here now, we are all derived from one group of people, the Atlanteans. But then there are another form of people that exists on the outside ring. So like the way I would describe it is like in the very beginning, like Ashley said, there's like a tree of life, and all life springs from this tree of life. Okay. And as the life is, born and created, when it's no longer in the center, it's moving out. Like she said, like a ripple effect, like when a water droplet drops in the water, it moves out. So the farther out you get from the center, the tree of life, the older the life is. So when people are like born and they're like, what's the point of earth? Why are we here? Like, what's going on? Understand that as we become more and more enlightened, we're moving outside the ring because we're getting older and we're learning more. Our consciousness is expanding, and then sooner or later we're going to be on the outer side of the ring, and there's going to be a new creature on the inside of the ring. So I think they said the newest one of the newest forms is called the Aryans, or they're like one of the newer forms of people, and that's so they've been infiltrated. So like when we're talking about like the rings, that's kind of what we're talking about. Yeah.
The outer layer of consciousness, I guess.
Right. Like the further out you get, the older you are, because the more your consciousness should have expanded. But again, if you don't expand your consciousness, you're going to be stuck in the center ring. This is like a really complex thing to try and describe.
But it is very important because of this factor, okay? So I'm moving up to this particular portion of the video. I'm going to share it with you guys. I think some of you guys have seen it. It's the video on my page that says 2020 Vision. There's a full video to that, and if you want it, I will send it to your DM. So there are particular seasons, particular times, hours where the earth is going to reshift. Okay. And I really want everybody to follow me on this, because this is what they're talking about: the big bang, or the event, or the big explosion, or the meteor shower that's supposed to hit our galaxy in December. Okay. And it's really important because a lot of people are going to perceive that either we got bombed, that there's going to be this green gas in the air, and people are going to assume that this is some deadly gas, and they're going to advise you to stay at home. I don't know what the narrative is going to be. Okay. I just know that they're preparing you for this because they already are preparing you for COVID. I see the trial runs about keeping you fearful and keeping you in the house. Okay. So let's just talk about what the video is basically saying to us and how we feel about it. So basically there's going to be something called the solstice. Okay. And this particular thing is supposed to occur every, I want to say it says 6,000 years. I don't know the particular accurate number or numeric number, but I know that it is going to happen now. This is supposed to be the 8th trumpet. The 7th trumpet happened last year in 2019, and the whole sky was like red, and it was like really beautiful. We probably just perceived it as just a regular situation. Okay. So this particular thing is supposed to happen in the sky. All conscious people are supposed to be able to see this and, be able to look up to the sky. This is supposed to happen December, which is 12/21. Okay. Now, all conscious people are going to be a part of it. It's going to turn the sky green. And also what is going to happen on the 25th of December is going to be, it's going to start on the 21st, the 23rd, No, it's going to lead up to the 25th. So 3 days before what we celebrate as Christmas, it's going to be dark. Okay. Now, a lot of people call this the pole shift. If you're a Christian, you call it when when Jesus died, he stayed dead for 3 days and rose up again on that next day. This is exactly what's going to occur, but I'm not saying this is a biblical thing. I'm just literally letting you know that what's really going to happen is all of the suns and all of the galaxies, which are right here on this plane, because it's a plane, so there's multiple suns, there's multiple moons. On December 25th, they're all going to align together, and it's going to make everything dark for 3 days because it's reshifting the whole planet. Now, people are going to believe that it's going to be apocalypse, the days of doom. People are going
to. Can you imagine the narrative? What they're going to say then? Like, everybody, you got to stay inside for 3 days. Like, people are not even going to know how long it's going to last. Like, people might start running out their houses and doing all kinds of craziness. They might try and shut down the Wi-Fi and the what is it called, the power.
We're going to talk about that
all too. Of that is going down.
So basically, it's going to be dark for 3 days. Now, is it going to be pitch black dark? I don't really believe so. I believe it's going to be more so of an Alaska feel. You know how the Alaska doesn't really have any sun for a long span of time. I believe this is what it's going to be. But I want to let you guys understand that this is not something to fear. We're about to have a reset. And if this does occur, then now you know. And if it doesn't occur, well, then shit just going to stay the way it is. But at least you know, okay? And if you're on live right now and you're receiving this information and you want to know more about it, I will send you the video so that you can get yourself up to speed, because it's better for you to know than for you to be fearing this event. Now, okay. It's going to go dark for 3 days, okay? I don't feel like it's going to be pitch black, but it's going to be weird because the sun ain't going to be out and all of the suns are going to be aligned. Now, after this occurs, there is going to be a 7-day period between then and January 1st. The reason why I'm really stressing this is because once this big bang happens, they might say that we got bombed, it was nuclear. I don't know how they're going to portray it, so I'm just letting you know ahead of time.
Right. They can say anything.
The sky will release a certain kind of gas, okay? And this gas is not going to harm us or kill us or anything. But what I will say, what was said on this video, which I don't know accurate time, I'm just sharing with you guys, is that once this gas is released, if you have high toxins in your body, meat in your body, and you go out into this gas, it's not going to instantaneously kill you, but it will affect you. Okay, but if you are eating right, if your body is green, if you're putting the right things into your body, it is going to activate dormant DNA, okay, that has been in your body for a very long time, that is going to enhance your psychic abilities. It's not like you about to be X-Man and then Spider-Man and all out of this motherfucker. That's not what I'm saying to you guys.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to telepathically communicate. You're going to have a sixth sense. You're going to know what's going on around you. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, I do. So this is when we were talking about the awakening. This is the beginning of the awakening. People waking up to their empathic abilities. So notice how, like, on Netflix, the show Avatar just came out, where everyone has, like, their different fractions of people and they have their own special ability, like firebending, waterbending, earthbending, airbending. Well, we're going to be given the same thing. Notice how the same narrative has been coming out lately with all these shows that have been coming out, where, what was it with the Amanda girl, who she had like all kinds of spiritual powers or empathic abilities. Now is the awakening of our empathic abilities for those of us who are conscious. So that's why they're, you know, pushing this narrative of, oh, be afraid, oh, stay inside, oh, be careful, be, you know, because our empathic abilities are going to be coming on live at this time, and we're going to be able to connect with each other on the astral planes in a way that we've never been able to connect before. So that really is what the Great Awakening is, and they kind of have tried to hide it or conceal it, like in religious texts and things like that, so that they can say, see, you predicted this was going to happen. But it's not that they predicted it, they just got this information first and inverted it before people, you know, had their hands on it, so they can kind of say, we're predicting this, we told you this would happen, but really they didn't. You know, they had the knowledge and distorted it before we had our hands on it. But now, again, we're coming online, we're becoming aware of this knowledge, and that is what the new age is. That is what the Great Awakening is, waking up to our empathic abilities.
So basically, when this clock hits this particular hour on December, the sky is going to be green, and there is going to be a gas that is going to release, and it is going to look like a bomb, or that we have been bombed. Okay, this gas is going to take up the whole air. So this may perceive, if you're on this live and you're receiving this information, it's because you are conscious, even if you try to fight it between whatever issue that you're having right now with your higher self and your lower self, with Christianity, your friends, your family. I don't give a damn what it is. If you're on live right now and you're receiving this information, it's because that you are probably going to go through an ascension. And I really want to talk about the ascension process, because Nija is going to chime in too. We were talking earlier, and this is where it gets a little fearful, okay? And that's why I really want to talk about it, because there's really nothing to fear, because me and Nija cracked that bitch, okay? So okay, so we were talking today, and we got a little download. So basically, the ascension, the way they talk about it in the video, and after that, I'm gonna let Nija talk about what happened to her vision. These conscious beings, once we see this, you know what I mean, about this experience, and we actually do go outside, you know, there are going to be fearful people who are going to stay inside, but we're going to know, like, if we do go out there and we prepare ourselves and we, you know, take out all the meat and toxins out of our body, that we're going to be able to go out there and take in this gas so we can heighten our DNA and be, you know, people. We won't be fearful. If you are fearful, just don't go. We are going through an ascension of consciousness at that point. And I think a lot of you are thinking like, well, you know, my mama ain't watching this, so she gonna stay here, or my dad's not watching this, or my child's father is very low vibration and he's not watching this. Well, let me explain to you. Every movie you see is talking about how there's multiple simultaneously happening at the same time dimension. That is what's happening. And right now, there is a place where you're conscious, your whole family is conscious, and y'all conscious environment, or another vortex. Okay, so what is happening is that the mind, from being at a lower vibration, is upgrading to a better frequency. Okay, and I'm gonna let Nija talk about dream at this time so that it can all come together.
So the download that I got when Ashley was talking about all of this earlier today when we were on the phone was that during this awakening process, or this ascension, the final ascension, so right now, through the indoctrinations of like school and work, and you know how life is now in the matrix, we kind of have like a bubble around our consciousness, or like a ceiling or a roof, to where we can only perceive so much, because we, you know, have been conditioned by our surroundings. But what I am perceiving is that when this great awakening happens, it's going to be like a veil being removed, or like the ceiling being removed, and we're going to be able to tap into a different place that we haven't been consciously, and we'll be able to again see more. So like, you know how we're only able to perceive a very minuscule, like less than 1% of what's really actually going on. I believe when we get this mental upgrade, we'll be able to, in consciousness, visibly see more, understand more. Literally, the roof is coming off, and our consciousness is going to be able to raise higher and higher. And we're going to, you know, right now we're kind of it's 222. Right now we kind of are getting like little drizzles and drips of this information, learning about our chakras, learning about our alignment, learning about raising our vibration, learning about the food we should eat and what days we should eat it, and all this stuff. These are like little golden nuggets. But when the veil is removed, and when the ceiling literally is removed, we're going to be able to like fly in consciousness and know all kinds of things that we've never known before. Our soul is going to be able to reach the Akashic records. Like, we're just going to tap into this all-knowing energy. So that's what we mean when we're talking about ascension. It's not physically, and in the Bible, how they make it seem like it's physically people being raptured out of their body and into the sky. No, no, no. Our physical bodies are dense enough here. We're staying on this plane, but in consciousness, we are going to be on the rise. And I think that's what's going to happen.
So basically, once this occurs through that 7-day span, from the 25th, 3 days of darkness, they rise again on Christmas Day, which is going to be the 25th. Between that 25th and that January 1st, all of these portals, okay, and I'm going to send this video, just DM me. I will show you the video, okay, so that you guys can see and make your own conclusion, and then we can come back. Y'all can DM me. We can talk about Some of Us Are Awakening right now. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So when this happens, all of the domes, okay, because there's multiple domes, just like they show us on The Simpsons, they show us in Hunger Games, how there's like this restricted area. You know, all of these domes will be opened up where higher consciousness, lower consciousness, everyone will be able to interchange, okay, through this particular thing. Mm-hmm. Are some people who feel like they're right now the Atlanteus period, which I'm crazy because I always feel like I have this direct connection to this Atlanteus situation. I have a guest. Okay, I gotta let y'all know. Hello, guest. How you doing?
I'm looking for some water.
Water would be downstairs. Okay, so there is a portal that's going to be open so that if you want to travel. Now, let me explain when I say that. Now, if you're just being conscious, there are people who want to travel up north. This area is normally decked off. They call it the Area 31 or Area 51. I don't know. You know, I think it's Area 51. They have all this security that you can't go into this area, all this stuff. But at this particular time, all of these domes will be open for this only 7-day period. And that will be happening. People interchange, go over there. If you don't know, then you won't be doing that. You'll probably just be in the house. But people who can, they will be doing that. Now, the reason why I'm talking to you about this is because a couple of months ago, you heard the president talking about they are about to colonize the moon. They're about to go and colonize the moon.
And this big talk about NASA right now, everyone's like, look what NASA's doing. Look what NASA, like really thinking that they're showing you what they're really doing.
What's really happening is there is already people there on the moon. That's one of those rings that we have that have civilization, just like this one does. And that particular people on the moon or on that particular place, they are in the Bronze era. And when you're in the Bronze era, you're not all the way conscious. It's like people can come and manipulate you and you don't even know it. You're only seeing things from 1%. And these particular people, okay, are hijacking certain errors, okay, certain timelines to feed off of them because these people are of such a low vibration, they don't even know what's happening to us. We're exiting that. Yeah. We got done with that. So that is why technology like Instagram, Facebook is out here right now in our particular domain, because this is how we're getting fed the information and this is how it's being spread. Now, remember before, when we were deep into bronze, we only had the cell phone and we had that big phone, then we had the cordless phone. So we wasn't talking about this kind of stuff because we didn't have internet, okay? Apple didn't even come out with any of this stuff. And normally you would just communicate with somebody in person or not home to use the house phone.
Yeah. And I also want to say too about the technology, how they really are keeping a lot of technology from us. So we are the original technology, how we're able to communicate with each other. We're supposed to be able to do that telepathically. And that's something that we don't know that we can do because they've hijacked the technology. They're little, so like what we have now, our laptops, our tablets, our cell phones, this is like literally nothing compared to the technology that we used to possess. So right now they're giving us little spurts of watered down technology, like giving us back our technology when we're supposed to, like, again, we're from the Atlantean era, right? So we had so much technology. Look at the Hamitic era when the Egyptians were able to build pyramids and Machu Picchu and stuff. Like, we were doing some incredible things. So when she's talking about us getting hijacked, it's they hijacked us and then started to give us back small little squirts of our own technology, like Tesla and all this other stuff. And then they're like, oh, look how innovative we are. Look what we created. And it's like, we've already done this before. They're literally just giving us back our technology. So again, and opening our consciousness through this awakening, we're going to be experiencing the real technology, what we really used to have. When they talk about Wakanda, that really was a thing. We're getting our technology back. They're not showing us anything new. This isn't a new creation. We're just getting back to that awareness.
And really what is happening is that it's just a cycle. Every ring has to go through these certain cycle. And we're actually leaving this bronze and we're going into the Aquarius right now, which is tech. Okay, so our tech is about to get a little bit more advanced. Now there is a ring. We're outside of the tree ring. So the tree ring is all knowledge, all truth, and all of just the truth of it. The further out you are, the more you still have to go through, because there are rings that are having a really, really, really bad time right now, you know, and I'm sure that that's probably one of the eras that were like slavery, or it was just like horrible to live in. And then they're going to switch out of that timeline and then go, I think it's like gold, bronze, and then there's a long golden age. Okay. And
you could consider the very center like Eden, like, you know, like the Adam and Eve story. So think of the very center where the nature realm exists. That's like Eden in the Bible, where they talk about the Garden of Eden, where we're one with God, we're one with Source. You know, that's ground point, that's 0 point. And then everything else after that is like going out of the ring.
Right. So when they have this lift of consciousness that's supposed to happen for the people that are conscious, okay, this is going to occur and you can't be here anymore, okay? So what I'm saying to you is, like, you know how they're saying, like, oh, people are about to jump timelines, or people are about to travel into the future. This is what is about to occur, because you're not a vibrational match. And unfortunately, I'm sorry, guys, if you feel like, well, dang, you know, I'm trying to explain this to my wife, or I'm trying to explain this to my husband, it might not be their time. They might have to, their consciousness might have to stay on this vibrational plane for a little while longer until they can come full circle. And it could be their diet, it could be so many
that. And that's like, again, I always bring it back to biblical, because we grew up in the church, so we can understand this. But how when they talk about during the rapture, how some people are going to get left behind, that's because they haven't come into consciousness yet. But it's not too late for them. As long as they're existing, they can come into consciousness. But if they're still in the bubble, it's going to be more and more control. More and more things are going to be mandated on the people who decide to stay in the bubbles, aka like vaccinations could happen in there, martial law can happen in there. But for those of us who expand consciousness and leave that, we're outside of that bubble, we're outside of that realm, so none of that exists to us anymore. So again, when she's talking about waking up your friends and family, it's like the rapture, people getting left behind.
Unfortunately, it is what it is. It's like this information is free for everyone, and I know people are going to be tuned off to it. But there is a lot of people, especially in my family, that when I really first started having this awakening was against this page, against everything that I'm saying. And now it's so crazy, because now they're like, oh, I'm stopping eating meat. They're just doing it unconsciously, not knowing that this has something to do with this urge to stop eating or engaging in these particular things is about awakening. And they're trying, Mother Gaia is trying to wake up all of her kids so all of her kids can come. It's not like she wants to leave some of you guys, but some of you don't care. It's like a person who's like 5,000 pounds. He's like, yeah, I know I don't need but I really want this burger. And
right. And that's when they're talking about accepting the mark of the beast. If you decide to stay in this techie consciousness, this realm is ruled by Saturn, the techno god, or the electric god, right? So if you don't leave, then that is being bogged down by the mark of the beast, or accepting the mark of the beast, staying in that way of being instead of evolving and understanding, stepping into your true power and accepting who you really are.
I have a question. How will we be separated from the toxic individuals? Now, okay, in this video, it talks about how there are different levels, and it does say that we were going to be lifted up. Okay, the lifted up thing does come up again, so I don't want to freak you guys out. But what I'm saying is to you is that, yeah, this might happen. We might not really remember that this happened. I'm not saying that I know that. And the reason why I'm saying we might not remember is because I know that they show you in Men in Black and different things that they come in and they zap your mind to make you forget things. I'm not saying that they're going to do this. I'm just saying if they're showing it to you, that means that it's possible for it to happen. And I'm saying that you might go through this whole 3-day, no sun, then the 7-day situation. And then once you get there, everybody's still going to be there, because everyone's consciousness does go back to source. It's just that right now, you know, there's a separation because you have lived a little bit away from these people down here. You feel me? And now you about to go with people that's on your level, so that we all can vibrate in our same little dome at our high vibration. Then you're going to get lifted up again.
Yeah. And I just had a download when you were talking about, you know, and like Men in Black, when they, you know, do the little flash and it makes you forget your memory, right? I just had a download about that, which is during this period where the ascension is supposed to happen, you know, when it's a period of darkness or blackness, what if they, you know, use our technology and infiltrate it? Like, what if they do a giant flash in the TV, or a giant flash like on the news, a giant flash to try and zap people's minds one last time before whatever is supposed to go down? So I think if this really does happen during that period where the you know, we need to be disconnected from our technology,
Okay,
from our phones, our TV, because
this thing, let me explain this too. This boom that they're gonna say either we got bombed or gas, we won't have any of that, guys. Everything is gonna fail. There's not gonna be any technology. You won't be able to communicate. I'm gonna send you guys this video. It's not anything to be fearful. I know we're moving into the tech, so there's gonna be technology that's gonna get us right back on track. It's not anything to be feared, but we won't have none of that. Okay, the dollar is going to fail. Everything is going to come to an end, and then it probably might be dark for like 3 days, like they said, and it's in the Bible, and then it will rise again, and then it'll be 7 days, and it'll be a big bomb, and this gas will fill the air, and we will be living through this. This is like an amazing time.
When they talk about the apocalypse, it's just the awakening. It's not really the end. It's just a new chapter.
We shouldn't be scared of this gas, okay? If you're drinking Dasani water, you might need to stop because that thing is filled with toxins, okay? You just doing the right things and putting the right things in your body, because if you're not and you go out there, I'm not saying it will kill you, but it will hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Because this gas that's being released into the air is a reset. It's not poison, it's a reset, okay?
It's like Earth's way of resetting the people on it, because she's like, oh, y'all are crazy AF. Let me spray you with some roach spray, or spray you with some, and you will inhale it, and it's like a reset on a cellular level.
Right. It's like God's breath. That's really what I want to call it. Well, people, Aquarius presents be specially affected. Okay, everything has something to do with the zodiac signs, but the thing is, all of us got these zodiac signs.
So yeah, you have to know how to read your birth chart. So just because we're talking about the age of Aquarius, this doesn't mean I'm saying we're saying it's gonna affect your zodiac sign. This just means every zodiac sign comes with certain attributes. So again, if you want to know how things are gonna affect you on a personal level, you've got to read your birth chart. And they have a lot of free resources, like on astro.com. You can or just type in like birth chart, and you have to know the day you were born, the time you were born, and where you were born. But they will give you your birth chart, and if you really want to dissect what means what in your chart, and how you're going to be most successful, what you're going to be most happy doing, all this stuff, you really have to dissect your birth chart, because it's really all in there. Your birth chart is the roadmap to your potentialities, and that's the significance of understanding astrology. And that's kind of why they took astrology away from us and told us it was woo-woo and taboo, because we could really crack down on the root of who we are and our purpose for being here just by understanding the astrological signs and how it affects us. So yeah, do a birth chart reading so you can understand how it's going to affect you specifically and when.
And also in this video, for people who love Jesus Bible, I don't know if Miles is still in here, but he should know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to know what the hell I'm talking about. But it talks about how it was like the Bible worship a ram at first, because it was a Taurus that was in error at that time. And then they said Pisces eras, and they was talking about fish and stuff like that. Well, the Bible is decoding, putting its own spin on what's happening. And when I say Aquarius era, it just means the era of knowledge. It's like Aquarius is a sign, I'm assuming, of an upgrade of information, like people who just want to find out the truth and know the truth. And I really want to talk about how you fight the lie. People are out here talking about, oh yeah, get this Uzi, you know what I mean? Get this gun, what's so hood? You're like, Ashley, what are you doing? Are you gangster now? I'm not saying I'm gangster, but I don't feel like the fight is really about guns. I feel like the fight is really speaking out about what's truly going on, like what Niger is doing, letting you know what's the truth, not talking about, spiritual, we need to go out here and kill these people. I'm not down. I'm not doing anything. Now, if you run up, I'm going to protect my mom. I'm going to protect my kids, but I'm my child. I don't have Kobe no more. That's my dog. But I don't think this is something that you need to go bang out and do. I believe that you need to understand what truth is, so that way when the sun goes dark days, you're not out robbing people.
I mean, but honestly though, some people in certain areas might, through this shift, again, there is going to be a political shift. So some people really might need to be strapped up. And that's just what it is.
Now, what I will say, if you live in the ghetto, not to be disrespectful, you should be, okay? And if
exactly.
Okay, not even
exactly.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not, because I don't want. What I don't want is people to feel like this is going to be the purge. But for people, I can see how this is going to.
But this is the purge, Ashley. We got to call it like it is. I literally made a video about this the other day saying this is the purge. And it's not in the exact way that they portray it. But if you can understand what's going on an energetic level, certain people really might become possessed to do certain things. So it is, some people are really going to need to be, you know, strapped up. And because for those of us who don't want to be on the front lines and aren't about that action, we're going to need some people who are about that action and who are really going to be on the, because again, it's happening consciously, but we're not going to be naive and say it's not happening on the ground too, because some things just might pop off on the ground. I believe it's happening on both planes.
I do. I'm not going to sit here and say that. I just, if you live in the questionable area, it is going to be hard if you live in the projects and the sky goes.
Not just there, in regular, average suburban places as well.
I don't really believe my neighbors is finna come up here and
Ashley, you're being too personal about this. We have to think about the average person.
Okay, I'm just going to say this. I'm not saying that I'm not being personable. What I am just really clearly trying to say is this. The ghetto is going to get rough. If it gets to be 3 days and the people in the ghetto don't really know or aren't conscious about what's going on, and the sun will rise again on that 4th day, they will probably wreak havoc.
And I'm not even just talking about on this awakening day. I'm not even just talking about on the 3 days of darkness.
These 3 days of darkness. Let me just say this. So if this does occur during these 3 days of darkness, okay, and they don't know what's going on, they don't know what's popping off, if I was a ghetto person, I probably would leave my ghetto area and go to a nicer area if they have supplies or if they have food or if they have things, you know what I'm saying? And probably do that with a forceful thing because I'm angry, or race wars or whatever is going on in this low vibrational plane at this time once this is about to be introduced into our atmosphere. So in a sense, yeah, I'm not going to say go rack up on guns and do stuff like that, but you do need to protect your home because we will be in 3 days of darkness. And I strongly believe that because of just basically everything has told us that, and they're telling us that in plain sight in every movie and every story, and it's not like it's new information. So I will say that, but I just feel like if you are in high vibration, you shouldn't have any of those encounters. If you have crystals surrounding your house, your window shields, you should be protected.
Yeah.
Like that story.
And then I also want to just say before
on the door and they skip over your house, I strongly believe
okay, but let's be real though, because right now where we are in this day and age, when we were together in Atlanta, did we not see protesters walking around before this day of darkness even happened? So this is what I'm saying. As this shift is occurring, before even this big bang happens, it is going to be affecting people. It's going to be affecting neighborhoods, even without the days of darkness. It already is affecting the people who lived in Minneapolis when these things are popping off. Did their city not burn down? So it's not just be ready for this 3 days of darkness. Be ready for what is going to happen. Be ready when these agendas are being rolled out. But, you know, and even people who are in consciousness, you can't control people who are not in consciousness. So, you know, things could be happening around you, and yes, you're not on that vibration, so you're like, what the fuck is going on and why is all this going in flames? But you got to just be conscious of what's going on around you, not even what's personally affecting you. Because even before the days of darkness, just see how things are, the political climate right now. People are already, you know, ready to strap up, even for July 1st when they say they're going to change the gun laws. So you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's happening even without the people who are in the ascension. People who aren't ascending, people are gonna be affected by them just because they're there and they're freaking out and they don't know what's going on. Even the people in the regular safe neighborhoods.
I do understand what Nigel is saying. I really do. I just feel like when your vibration is not there, you just don't see those people. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's.
It's not though, because you saw the people who were rioting when we were together. They're still there.
Let me just say this, okay? Because Nigel is like ready to.
I just don't like it when you act like you don't see.
I'm not saying that I don't see, but what I am saying to you guys is that she's right. We looked out the window one day, 2 days, and we saw people out there walking.
But we're still raised in consciousness. So we're just observing it.
Not in that frequency. And I strongly believe that if you're not in that vibrational frequency, and let me explain when I say what that means, frequency. I mean, if the day comes and the night comes to dark for those 3 days and you're scared, half of you believes what I'm saying, the other half of you believes that it's doomsday and the devil is coming to get you. I don't care what it is, okay? Being in that part of fear will bring some bullshit to your doorstep, okay? But if the sun falls and we're all together, you know, I'm with my people, I'm with my little tribe, I'm just going to be chilling because I know that on the 4th day it's going to happen. But let's say you don't know. You might be out here acting a fool. You might be out here doing that stuff. Now, Nigel is right. People were out here acting a fool. But for me, I was in my penthouse chilling. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm just saying, don't act like it's not effect. Because if they wanted to blow a bottle in the street across the street while we're in our lavish penthouse, that would still affect us. So you know what I mean? Not our vibration, but it would affect us in the sense that we can see the turmoil that's going on around us, but we still have to be high vibed through seeing what's going on around us.
And I'm not saying that. And me and Nigel is not saying the same thing, because I'm not saying that. I'm really saying that I was downtown for a whole weekend before Nigel got here, and I didn't know nothing about George. And y'all know that because me and Nigel was on live, and Nigel was chumping me like she is doing right now. And I need to be aware of what's going on. But to me, I'm telling you, stop time. The vibration that I'm on, it's just not on that. And then I feel like at that time when I wasn't paying attention to George, it was destined for me not to pay attention to George because George had died a year before that. So that wasn't even relevant. So I do understand what Nigel is saying. I'm not saying that I don't see people just going out here and acting a fool, but I am saying I just don't pay attention to that. And I feel like every time you use your 4 senses to heighten the sense of fear or heighten the sense of whatever, you bring it into your reality. And I just don't think we need to be doing that. But fair. I feel
fair. We'll leave it there. We'll leave it at that. That's fair. And I agree.
I understand that you need to know, but I'm not tuning any of my senses to any of that. You know what I mean? The only thing that I'm just really worried about for me is just, you know, just making sure, you know, everybody elevates. And now that I've already told you guys, everybody will ascend when they're good and ready, or whatever the situation is. There's a duplicate of you and everybody in your reality everywhere. You know what I mean? You'll be fine. You know what I mean? So, but I love Nigel, but you know,
I love you too, girl. I love you too. I know, but it's true. We just weren't talking about the same thing, but we mean the same thing. We know.
I know it's people out there popping off. Like I'm not sitting here and saying that I'm not. I am certain that they're doing that. But do I see it? If I expose myself to it, if I see 2 girls fighting on Instagram, beating each other up, I instantly say, I don't want to see fewer posts from this person, and I take it off. I haven't watched any beat down brutality.
Me neither. I don't watch none of that.
Any of that stuff, because honestly, I understand that stuff exists. I understand pain exists. I understand low vibration exists. But that's not where I'm going with this. I don't even want to have that. And I mean, y'all need to just tune out. Like, just check out. Just know that every day happens. It's good. Y'all been they told us half of it in the Bible. You know, y'all know I don't believe that, but they told us half of it. So let's be prepared. Let's just know that this thing is about to go down. Get your crystal. Make sure you have plants in your house. Make sure you have quality water. You know, if you don't have quality water, get some drones outside your house so you can retain the rainwater. I'm telling you, that rainwater ain't going to kill you. You know what I mean? Get some of that water and get yourself right. Get some black seed oil. Get some SCIT. Get some vitamin D, okay? And get everything that you need so that you can build yourself up and prepare yourself for what's about to happen. And let's just get to it. Let's just get to it. Go down.
Now, let's talk about how people can prepare themselves. So how you can prepare yourself on a personal level is, again, working through your belief systems and working through your chakra points to understand, you know, what limiting beliefs you might have that you might be holding on to, so we can transmute those energies so we can, you know, keep going up to the top. So understanding your points so you can know yourself intimately, so you can, you know, raise in consciousness. I feel like I've been able to really raise in consciousness by tuning into each point.
I strongly agree with what Nigel is saying. Okay, I really feel like, you know, this is like eBay plug all the way, because Foster eBay definitely talks about the chakras and the individual things that you can do to correct them, you know, to see which ones are blocked. Like today is Wednesday. It is over the throat chakra, to be able to know your truth and know what the truth is and say it righteously without fear. You know what I'm saying? So this conversation will be able to flow with no disruption, because that planet is over this day at this particular time, and because of that, truth can flow naturally right out of our chakras because they're not blocked. But let's say, how can you block your chakra? Okay, let's talk about the one that we're using right now with our throat. If your ass is lying, you got a problem.
If you're talking too much, you have a problem. If you don't, you know, okay, what are more examples of an overactive throat chakra?
I can do an overactive and an inactive. Let's say people are just running clearly over you. You cannot properly say no.
That's underactive, right?
You know, you're just like yes, or you're allowing people to push you over. You need to be at a balance. Okay. So if you're lying too much, you're doing too much. And if you're talking to the point where you can't even
you talk more than you listen, that's the overactive throat chakra.
Right. That's one too. So you know, if you a hoe and your hole is all outside, you know, you got to run in there like, you know, close it up.
That's the overactive sacral chakra.
Situation.
Those people who are hyper promiscuous, they need someone to fill their hole. Right. That's an overactive sacral chakra.
Right. You know, you need somebody to lay with all the time. If that's you and you're a guy and you're doing that actively, this is another way that you can realize that that chakra is messed up and it needs to be balanced. Everybody don't need to be running in there with their shoes on. You see what I'm saying? So you have to really figure out where you are and how you can balance that particular part of you so that you can all operate at a whole. And how'd you open it?
What I was saying in my other life that I did the other day too is you can tell what is out of balance in your body based on your physical body. So like if you ever have a stomach ache or like you feel constipated, that could have to do with your, you know, solar plexus. Or like if you get a sore throat and scratchy throats, that could be your throat chakra. If you get headaches frequently and things like that, that could be your third eye chakra. So you can tell by what's going on with your body what you physically need to work on.
I want to talk about that. I was talking to one of my followers the other day, and she was like, "Oh, my back blades is hurting, and this is hurting, and I need to go to the doctor." And I was like, "Girl, why would that mean you need to go to the doctor?" If she on her, she was like, "That's me." But I was like, nothing should equal to you going to the doctor. Okay, I want to talk about ascension symptoms, and this is happening. If you're manifesting things into your reality at a really rapid rate, that part right there is actually your wings coming in. I know that sounds crazy, but you're evolving, you're growing. Okay, I was having a serious throbbing of this like a while ago. Like it was just crazy, but it was because I was decalcifying my pineal gland, and it was just things was happening rapidly. You know, there's side effects to all the things that you do, all the information that you download, all the people that you talk to, the things that you learn. Kundalini yoga. Yeah, that is really good. Yoga is good. Listening to the music for the different frequencies. eBay talks about that a lot. You know, eating high vibrational foods, trying your best to just kind of like eat for knowledge and not eating for comfort. That's why they call it.
Absolutely. Because that's a sign of an overactive sacral chakra. Overeating, overindulging in pleasures. You can't tell your body no. That means you have no self-discipline. So a lack of self-discipline is a underactive sacral chakra. You're not exercising, you know, your discipline. So yeah.
Yes. So that is good. The ending of the video, I guess it basically just talked about the ascension process, what's going to happen with this Solsa, this year span of cycle, and the age that we're moving into is going to be technologically advanced. It's a realm that's higher than ours, that is like 3,000 years, or it's either 3,000 years, 1,000 years ahead of us, and people will be able to move over to that because their vibration is higher than us. So if you're like a monk or something like that, when the shift change, they'll be easy to go there. I don't think that I'm on that level. I'm probably on just the next level right here. And then you can see how there's people behind you that are active on a low vibration who's just acting crazy. They're about to experience a new world order, okay? Because their consciousness hasn't gotten high enough to they need to ascend to the next level. It's like a video game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's what life is. It's like a video game being in this 3D world, because we really do have to go from level to level to level. That's consciousness to consciousness to consciousness, or ascension to ascension to ascension.
Now, what we were talking about the other day is that there are ways to hack the code. There's always a way.
Yes.
To do that is to literally be the vibration. And it's crazy because a lot of annoying people on YouTube are like, yeah, be the vibrational matcher. Tell me how to do it. But how you literally disconnect from TV. You cannot watch no TV. You have to literally make sure that you're outside. You're taking your vitamin D. You know, you're getting that extra rays from the sun. You're jogging, you're walking, you're dancing, you're being active. You're listening to the frequency. You're doing your meditation. You're actually being creative, like creating fashion or whatever that
doing your kundalini yoga.
Whatever that, have to be in a vibrational match with all things of peace. And once you do that and you set your mind to, I want this car, I want this house, I want whatever, it will instantaneously gravitate towards you because you're in a perfect alignment. Right. But if you switch it up and you eat a toxic cow, then you throw yourself off balance and it moves, you get a hurdle, you get some.
So we can like literally plug this into like when they talk about manifestation. So understand that there is an infinite amount of possibilities and potentialities, and you can see that as an infinite amount of doors that you could potentially walk through. And if there's something that you want, something you want to manifest, like for example, like if you're trying to manifest a house, you can perceive what it looks like, you having your dream home. You can literally become a vibrational match to that and line yourself up, align the portals up, and walk literally straight through every single door that leads you right into the manifestation that you want. So that's what we're talking about, like lining up these portals, lining up the potentialities, understanding that literally anything and everything could happen. All you have to do is become a vibrational alignment and literally walk through that portal.
Right. And all you have to do is sacrifice. It's not like super easy. Like you've been practicing your whole life eating cheeseburgers. You've been practicing your whole life saying bad spells over you. So it's going to take due diligence. It's going to take you to use your real willpower to say, hey, you know, I want to choose to lift my vibration up. Okay. So I'm not saying this is a cakewalk. No, it's not. It's not a cakewalk. It's literally changing patterns that you have put in your DNA for a very long time because of contact or being on a low vibration. I don't know what it is.
That's why the indoctrination has been so heavy. That's why the school system has been so heavy. If you ever go to prison, like it's so heavy. All the indoctrinations, everything is just so heavy. It's because they want to jumble up your brain and scramble up your brain so that you cannot put two and two together and make sense of all the things that are very simple to understand. Once you elevate yourself consciously, it'll all start to make sense. But that's why the emphasis is so heavy on jumbling up your mind. Keep them in school, keep them at work, keep them busy, keep them bogged down by bills so they don't unscramble their brain.
Right. And we're moving away from that now. Everyone same time, but we are all slowly doing that. Now, I do want to talk about once the 7-day passes. So once the 7-day is over, everyone will go to their rightful place. The people who have leveled up have to go to a new plane for consciousness, and the people who are still on low vibration, you guys will be experiencing the bronze sector, which is the lower level of whatever that new world order is or that new world government part of it is. And I don't really want anyone to be fearful because everything I believe will be the same. It just will, you'll see more. And that's what we were talking about earlier. I'm going to be able to follow me on this, but it's just like when you know more, you can see past for what it is. So like we see Black Lives Matter. I know Black Lives is really a hidden agenda or something. So I'm not going to. So that is me seeing more. Does that make sense? I'm still here.
Yeah. Girl, it's funny because yesterday, and I never watched this man. I was watching a Brother Panic video, and I never watched him, but he was basically talking about like the Black Lives Matter movement, how when you're in power, when you're a king, you don't have to keep asserting, I'm a king, I'm a king. You know, you don't have to keep reasserting your power. People just know it because that's how what you exude. That's the energy you give off. You don't have to tell anyone, I'm a king, I'm important. So he's saying, and when people are using these phrases in the Black Lives Matter movement, saying Black Lives Matter, you're reminding the oppressor that you matter because you've forgotten your strength and your power. And then like when you're like, I can't breathe, you're affirming, you know, like you're casting spells on yourself. So understand that we have to change the slogan Black Lives Matter, because when you step in your power and you know you're a king and you know you're a queen and you know that you matter and you know you're a goddess, you don't have to tell your oppressor you matter. You live as if you matter because you know who you are.
Right.
So that we have to reform that entire movement, because we think we're doing something, but we're having the opposite effect. We're showing our oppressors and the people who do think that Black people are lesser than, see, look at them fight for their power, because see, you know, like we don't have to fight for anything. We just have to act like we know who we are. And that's literally all that needs to happen.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Totally agree. Totally agree.
I never watch him, but I was like, yeah, that's the truth.
That's one of the main reasons you don't see that. The only thing I put on my companies, I'm Black owned, I am Black. So if you want to support Black businesses, you can do that. But all of the blackout pages and all of the other stuff, it's just like, you got to stop that. I know I'm a queen.
You got to stop that.
I'm going to go around and let you know, like, I matter, this and that. I matter.
Because you know you matter. You don't have to tell people you matter when you. That's literally the epitome of having low self-esteem. If I have to go around and tell you, no, I am great. No, I am important. Like, so that they're literally saying, here, give yourself low self-esteem. Tell everybody you matter. Tell everyone you're important.
Right.
Because you have a complex. Because you don't feel like you have, you know what I mean? So we got to change that. Because I finally understand, you know, the vernacular problem with that.
For real. They put me on a 2-minute timer of remaining time.
Okay.
This was a really good live. I'm definitely going to download it.
Yeah.
Wanted me to talk about the hijack, so we were able to hit on that today. So I hope you guys will be able to catch the replay to understand how it is. If you really want to watch this video, please make sure you DM me, send it to you so we can all discuss it. And yeah, we got like 1 minute and 20 seconds.
Okay, cool. Well, I had fun with this conversation today, and we'll do this again soon, and hopefully soon we'll get to have Foster eBay up here as well. So that'll be exciting.
Yes, we want to make sure that we can interview every person that is on this spiritual thing. So, you know, we'll
have a bunch of guests.
Yes, share their views, their insight, and if you guys need anything, you know, you can always contact us in our DM. And we love you guys, and we hope you have a great. What day is it? Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye.